Perfect. Okay, let's get started. Welcome, everyone. I am super excited to be with you guys today. We have our first special guest of this quarter. Here's that loud noise. Sorry, there's construction happening at my house. But so I wanted to quickly introduce you to the one and only Jess Dukes. Jess ended up the year as a superstar diamond coach, number 19 in the network, and she had 9 new diamonds just last year. So her team, the momentum she had, and the push to end 2018 the strongest, it worked. So Jess, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your year experience, and then guys, just jump into questions.
Awesome. Thank you for that intro. So my name is Jess. I live in the Seattle area, and I am a wife, and I have 2 kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. I've been coaching for a little over 5 years. I worked this business for the first 2.5 years while working full time. I was a senior financial analyst for Expedia when I started, 60 hours a week, hour-and-a-half commute to work, and pregnant after the first month of coaching. And so I dove right in because I really wanted to be home with my kids. I've lost 75 pounds so far. And so I joined coaching about halfway into my fitness journey, but really I knew how much, health and fitness had changed my life. And so I really wanted to pay it forward and help other people. And then I remember coming in here, and the very second month of my coaching career, my coach was quitting her job, her coach was quitting her job. And I was like, man, I could actually do this full time. And so I went all in, and 2.5 years later, I was able to quit my full-time job. And I've been doing this ever since. This past year has been kind of a wild ride. Started off the year as a 5-star diamond coach, ended as superstar. My brother died last March. And I think for me, just kind of made me realize life is really short, and I want to go all in with everything I do. And then a really big turning point for me was last summer. I hit 8-star qualifying, and I dropped the very last week of qualifications and pretty much wanted to strangle my team. And I realized, you know what, it's not my team's fault. It's I gotta take responsibility for this too. And I gotta be in charge of the people I'm recruiting and the types of coaches I'm allowing to take up my time and my energy. And I decided I need to get a whole new team. And so literally within the next couple months, I pretty much ramped up my recruiting, up to 30 to 40 coaches a month, and hit the ground running. And a lot of those newer girls were the diamonds that helped me hit superstar. So that's kind of the last year in a nutshell.
Awesome. So I was going to ask a question actually about what you would say changed this year, just because you have been a coach for 5 years and you had such a successful year, but you just kind of answered that with recruiting new people, your new people. But
Mm-hmm.
What would you say, what did that look like? What was different about how you were recruiting people before to how you were recruiting now, your quote unquote dream team?
So I, before this, was doing sneak peeks my entire downline. And I don't know if you guys find this, but when I do things for my whole downline, I kind of filter myself because, if my discount coaches are inviting their first prospect to a sneak peek, I don't care if they sign up for the discount, anyone's welcome, because it's my girls out. But I felt I'm shooting myself in the foot because I'm not really attracting the people that I wanted. And so I started doing sneak peeks with Natasha Pearson. So she's actually a girl in my downline, and we are at the same level. We went to leadership together. She was the only girl on my team that went to leadership with me. And we were let's just do this together. And we started this sounds really bad, but making it our goal in our sneak peeks to scare every single person off, because I wanted people to come in here and realize coaching is hard work. Don't be afraid of the hard work. And if someone could make it through our 3-day sneak peek of hearing how hard this is, how, we sacrifice a ton of time, that this is going to take a lot of energy, the type of work ethic, we even would kind of do a Emerald and 24-hour call, in our sneak peeks. You're going to have to, the day you sign up, you're signing up with your husband, you need to ask all your friends. We're going to ask you to invite 50 people a day, really being transparent with what we were going to tell them to do once they signed up. That I started finding I was actually recruiting more coaches, and they were my people rather than finding like a bunch of people who are like, oh, I have to talk to people, and oh, I don't like social media. And it's like, well, that's part of this job. So kind of being really transparent, like upfront with what I was going to expect from them, rather than like luring them in with like, it's amazing, we just like work out together and drink these shakes. And then they come in and realize like, we also work our tails off. So for me, like that was the game changer. And also doing sneak peeks every single week, no days off. And so every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we do a sneak peek. First 2 days, she shares her story live. I share my story live. The next day, she goes live with what we do, like a legit of what we do. Like we talk to 50 people a day. Like you're going to like really what we do. Then I go live with the Costa coach and how we earn income. And I talk about the fact that I made this much in the beginning and I make this much now. And I didn't make this much until I put all this work in. So really letting them know, like, you might make $100, you know, or a couple $100 your first month and maybe 10 grand your first year, but like your next year, you could make 6 figures if you make it through this. And then the last day we talk about our mentorship. So like, let's say you sign up today, this is what it's going to look like for you. And to me, like that was the game changer. And doing sneak peeks every single week forces you to talk about coaching all the time, rather than like once a month when you do your sneak peeks, and like keeping the focus on boot camps. And so I took the focus off my boot camps and more so on coaching.
Awesome. And I just have one side question off of that, and then I'll let everyone else. Do you just keep one coach sneak peek, like one Facebook group or however you run them, and just keep adding people into them every single week, or are you creating like new groups every time?
So we keep like one a month. I kind of find like once you get to the month point and you have a couple hundred people in there and a couple hundred people are also not interested, like the people who actually see your posts go down. So that's when like probably once a month we change it up. So like once we get like a couple hundred people in there, it's like, okay, closing this down, we'll archive it and just say like, hey, we're going to run our next sneak peek in this group. You'll find a lot of people will join your next group. And then I keep all my girls in a streak pipeline and follow up until someone tells me like, don't ever talk to me again. So that's like a big part, is like making sure like you never lose track of these girls and they're always being invited to the next one.
I have a question. So you said that a lot of your like new diamond, or to get to superstar, were a lot of your brand new coaches that you brought in the last year. Did you change the way that you were getting them started, or any great tips for getting people started to be able to get to diamond quickly?
Yes. So first thing we do is every Sunday night is an Emerald in 24-hour calls. And we're kind of changing them to be more like Success Club in 24 hours, because I found like people are hitting Emerald and then do nothing. And Success Club 4 doesn't do much for our businesses. And so we do that every single week. And I also have like giving them little incentives, like, okay, if you do this, then I'll give you this. So if you hit Success Club in those first 24 hours, you also get an invite to our Diamond in 30 Days call. That's kind of where we start. We really preach Emerald every single week. And I had a hard time with this at first, because like it took me 3 months to hit Emerald in my business, 5 months to hit Diamond. And so sometimes it's like, how do I tell my girls to do something that I didn't do? But I realized like I need to set the expectations high, because they'll probably do half as much as what I tell them to. And making diamond sound really easy is kind of what we did. So, you know, when a girl gets enrolled in 24 hours, they get the invite to the diamond call. And I also send them my tripod so that I take pictures with, and girls are pumped about that, because it's one thing to join a call and it's another thing to actually go invite people and like do it. When they get 4 coaches, there's some like mentorship calls I'll send them that are recorded that like guest speakers have done to us that I just make private and kind of use it as an incentive. 6 coaches, I give them an Instagram critique. Like I'll do it live on Zoom and stream it in my group. So then everyone gets to see it, but they don't get it till they get 6 coaches. And then obviously there's perks at Diamond too. You're Diamond. But really kind of breaking things down and telling them it's Diamond or Emerald every single week, and like holding them to it. Like, who are your 2 new girls? But also like working with the work, like the people who are actually showing up too. So dragging the people who are telling me one thing and doing another, and really invest my time in the people that I see showing up and like getting results too.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Hi, I'll ask a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, first of all, that's a really inspiring story. So I appreciate you sharing it because I'm kind of in the same boat where we hit 5-star and then a lot of girls drop. So I'm having to rebuild, which happens. And some of them are still around, some of them aren't. But hearing your story is really inspiring. I don't follow a bunch of coaches, so I didn't know your story. So thanks for sharing. And then with that, were you posting on social media differently as well with exactly who you wanted? Did you find that's how you started attracting those right people to put in the sneak peeks, or where were you finding them basically?
Yes. So Sydney set a goal with me in October. She was like, November 8th, you're going to be a superstar. It was like, oh crap. Like I was lifetime 7, but like probably sitting at like a 4. And so I had some building to do, and I decided, I got this little whiteboard and started posting this, like who my new coaches were going to be every month. And I would fill it up. And so I had never like recruited more than like, honestly, probably 10 coaches a month. And I set a goal in November that I was going to recruit 30, or I think October that it was going to be 30 coaches. And I had never done it before. So I was like, I'm going to look like a fool if I don't fill up this board and I'm posting on social media. But I started like really telling people like, we have this goal. We're going to hit the top in the company. Like we want people who want to go to the top with us. And I also like talked about that in my sneak peeks. Like we need diamonds. Like in my sneak peeks, I even told them like what they were going to have to do to be part of the superstar team. But I do feel like I started posting differently. I felt very desperate to like get people to do this with me, that like when you kind of have a fire under your butt, like you got nothing to lose, like try it. Like, and I started being a little bit more unapologetic in like what I was looking for on social media, and also like how hard I work. And showing this board fill up and shouting out the girls who were doing something made a big difference too. But I do feel like I started posting more and like talking to the coach that I wanted to actually have join my team, rather than like I said, like kind of filtering myself and being vanilla to everyone.
I have a follow-up question to what I was digesting, everything you shared. In the Emerald and 24-hour calls, do you push like the sign up your spouse and a friend sort of thing?
Yes. So we push at least signing up your spouse, and then on the call, like make them write down 10 girls or 10 people that they're going to invite. And like we make them one by one go around and share who those 10 people are. After the call, we say like, I even like move your butt, like go send invites, and we give them kind of samples. That's another thing I changed. I stopped giving my coaches scripts to follow, because I found people would like take what I said and like copy paste it to people. And then it's like, that's not you though. And so I stopped giving scripts and just kind of like giving examples, like telling them examples of how to do, like how to go like these people. But I find like when coaches know too much, they kind of get paralyzed and don't actually do anything. So when we didn't tell them exactly what to say, like we just said like, go share your excitement to these 10 people, and like then told them to make a backup list of another 10, because we know that a lot of people say no. But yeah, we definitely told them to sign up their spouse, exactly what challenge pack to sign them up with, and how to do that.
So Cassidy asked something in the chat. How are you filling your sneak peeks? Are you running ads?
No, I am not running ads. I did run one a couple weeks ago. I was on a call with some girls and they were like, we're all running ads. And it was like, I tried it, and my ads, like I'm not very good at them. Because they don't work very well, but I'm sure you guys have all seen that like influencer wanted posts, or like the whatever posts that a lot of us do. Like that works really well. But I actually find what does the best is in my stories. I kind of do this. I made it in Canva, and it's just like, you followed me for 5 years. Like you've seen me quit a full-time job, retire from corporate America, expand my family, like build a team of Fearlessly Fit, and like all this stuff. And then like say like I'm running a sneak peek, and I post that a couple times a week, and I get a ton of people that will swipe up and respond to that. And I think that does best when I have either a breadcrumb or call to action in my feed. So I find that breadcrumbs do better in my feed and call to actions do better in my stories. But that's what I do. And I post them all the time. And if someone gets annoyed, they can unfollow me. But I post call to actions probably at least once a day in my stories.
When you're having your calls with your new coaches, are you also doing one-on-one calls with them, or is it mainly in the group setting since you're bringing on more coaches and then having them work towards the next call?
So I have a self-paced training, and at the end of like the lesson 1, I say, set up a call with me. I am not going to hunt people down, set up calls, because I personally hate doing calls with people because like, I've got 2 kids. That's nap time for me. That's my golden hours. So if someone hunts me down and asks for a call, yes, otherwise Voxer. And I do hunt my coaches down through Voxer, but if they don't respond to me, like I kind of put them aside. And like, there are a lot of my coaches who message me every day through Voxer. So we do more so there than calls, just because like 30 minutes on a call we could do in probably 10 minutes on Voxer, and we both can do it while we're doing preschool drop-offs and other fun stuff.
I'll ask a follow-up question too. How often are you doing the 30 days to diamond call?
Every week. So I do the Emerald and 24-hour calls every single week. We're doing them on Thursdays, but now we're doing them every single Sunday. And then Sunday right after that, we start doing our diamond calls. So we used to do diamond calls on Thursday nights, like after rank advancement, but we're trying to combine into one day. And we find that Sunday nights get really good turnout with our teams. So once a week, and even if there's only a couple girls that earn it that week, then a couple girls get more of our time.
And is that just a link that you send out, or is that a specific group that they're going into where you have content in a call? Okay.
We do a Zoom call, so they get the link from us. And the diamond call, I do not post in our team pages. Like, you got to get a personal invite. So that's when like you have to hit Emerald, and like I'll go through my back office on Thursdays, and whoever is like an active Emerald will get that invite.
And are you changing the calls weekly? So say you have like 5 Emeralds that are still Emerald the next week. Would they get on the call and have the same call, or would they have different content?
So it is the same content every single week. And we haven't done a PowerPoint, and this week we just decided to create PowerPoints, but it's been the same content. And Natasha and I tag team them every single week. Because my goal is like, you shouldn't be at the same spot in your business this week as you are next week. So I'm hoping that, once you know how to go diamond, like go do it. Like, you shouldn't have to like learn it every single week. But I do have some girls that join every single week.
So when you guys decided to make your run for Superstar, what did you do to kind of get everybody on board and excited and knowing that this is like a team thing, a we thing, not just a you thing? Any advice for that?
Well, first off, I told my girls I'd take them to Maui. So that was like, oh, okay. So we're actually going to Maui together in March. But I told them, like, we're going to do a trip, and I'm not doing a trip unless we actually do this and qualify. So like, then I put a chat thread together. So we didn't do a group. I had like a business builder page where everyone had to be Emerald and Success Club to do it. And I ended up turning it into a Superstar group. Anyone who was committed to hitting Superstar with us could join. And if you weren't, then you can hang out on our team page till we're done with this. And that's kind of where we kind of like kept in touch. I got weekly like guest speakers. So like Josh Coates came and talked to us. Had Steve Innes talk to us, Robin Chelsea talk to us. And Sydney came in there and chatted with us. So I had guest speakers. I found my girls love these guest speakers. And they like literally would put an alarm on their phone to come hear someone else talk. Then we had a group chat thread, and I also have this board right here. And I kept a running list of anyone, like literally this was like a live thing. They saw this multiple times a day. Anytime someone signed up a coach, filled them in. Anyone time someone lost a coach, I also erased that and posted it, kept them accountable. And part of me was like, gosh, I don't want to call people out for where they're at. But it's like, actually I do. Like, this is a team effort. And if someone else loses a coach, like we all just lost a coach. And it kind of helped us all band together and realize like when someone else wins, like we all win. And people really fed on that. And also it was really motivating because we set this goal, and the following week 3 of the girls who were from Peak ended up joining. They within a week all had 4 to 5 coaches. And so I was like, hey, you guys want to help us with this goal? There was nothing more motivating than being able to put them on this board, add them to the chat, and see some of my other girls who had been on the team for a year, like see these new girls like fly past them. And it made people like really start leveling up. So this to me was a game changer, but also just the chat thread, like not training, but like just motivation for mindset, and then just like keeping people accountable with where they were at.
I think you kind of just answered this, but it wasn't training that you were really doing in this group. It's more just the message, the accountability, the momentum, and making sure they're staying consistent.
Yeah. And we had actually come off of a diamond training when I set this goal. Like we had just finished this diamond training. I don't know about you guys, but diamond trainings like are such a waste of time to me, because diamond is literally like emerald times 4. Like if you know how to get to emerald, you know how to get to diamond. And when we say we're doing these diamond trainings, then we're also making it sound like you need training in order to hit diamond, when you really don't. You just need to go out there and actually invite. And I found my girls would like watch hours on YouTube and do nothing. Like, oh, well, I'm so busy. Like I worked all day. You watched videos, but you didn't actually implement. So there really wasn't much training. I mean, definitely like we mastermind, we shared ideas. So anything I was doing, like, hey, I'm posting this, go do it too. Kind of shared those type of things, but it wasn't like training, because I don't really think there is training.
I have a question. How do you get your team to go past diamond as well, like diamond and beyond?
That's a great question. I'm trying to work on that now. I find like I'm really trying to like, and we talk about this on our Emerald call, like set the stage that diamond is when you open your business, 2-star is when like the party happens. Because I know for me, like I didn't make much income till I got to 2-star. Like my first year I made like $16,000. Like I certainly wasn't like doing much with that. And then I hit 2-star, made 6 figures the next year. And so for me, I really tried to tell my girls like 2-star is where you want to be. So getting them to see like diamond is like, cool, that's awesome, now we're on to the next. Rather than like for a long time, I think my girls thought like diamond was the finish line. So helping them kind of see like diamond is a stepping stone to get you to 2-star, and setting that stage early on that 2-star is where you want to be. It's not diamond. Just like emerald, like emerald's a step to get to diamond, but then diamond's the first step to get to 2-star. Then there's a question in the chat about anxiety. Yes, so I have majorly struggled with anxiety. I'm not gonna lie though, like I probably get anxiety from not working, like when I know I've got a lot to do and I need to go do it. That's what kind of like, I feel like action kind of helps my anxiety. But also like sharing about it. Like I share a lot about my anxiety and what I've done over the last year for it, when I struggle with it. But yeah, I guess it's never really held me back, because I get anxiety from not doing stuff, if that makes sense. I think everyone struggles with anxiety in very different ways. And I know anxiety paralyzes some people. For me, I feel like no, I have a long to-do list and I'm not doing it is what kind of gives me anxiety. So taking action and doing what I know I need to like really, really helps me.
I have another question. Your Instagram like following has just like exploded. Are you like using a service for that? Is it just like completely organic growth, or what's your strategy on that?
Definitely not organic. So actually February of last year, I was sitting at 22,000 followers. I didn't do much the year before, and all of, I think it was 2017, I didn't even gain 100 followers. And it was just like, Facebook was my baby. That's how I started this business. And when everyone went to Instagram, it was like, okay, I guess I will too. And it didn't grow for me at all. And it was kind of before Captivate and stuff. And I realized like I had this assistant that was helping me in my business. And I also realized like there were other people that specialized in Instagram. And it's like, why am I paying someone to do like reports and stuff when I could pay someone to like get me more business? So I started utilizing an assistant who does Instagram 100%. That's her only job. I pay her 6 hours a week. She grows my Instagram for 4 of the hours, sends messages for 2 of the hours. I take over the stuff from there, but she sends my like 20 invites a day for me. And for me, like it's been a game changer. So I started with 22,000. I think I'm up to like 86,000 now. And next month will be a year working with her. But I also think a game changer for me was like really changing the way I use my Instagram. So, unpretty pictures go in my stories, and like making sure my feed is polished, getting a what's it called, a preset really changed things. Like rather than like manually editing my pictures, like having a really distinct look, like really changed my business. And I did that back in August. I used to have like 7,000 like weekly profile visits, and the second I did my preset, it went to like 16,000, and now like we're up to like 100,000 weekly views right now. And I think a lot of it was having that preset, like changing the cover photos, like looking aesthetically pleasing, but also like having my assistant like actively be growing it for me too. And then my assistant does Instagram for a lot of other people, and she says she uses something called People Maps. No idea what that is, but that's the service she uses for this. And I think it's probably, I have to think it's somewhat similar to other things, because like she has like 3 influencers she follows or like targets for my following. And we've made sure like obviously these aren't fitness people or anything like that. But People Maps is what she uses. And the nice thing with working with someone like that knows Instagram is anytime an algorithm changes, like I have email that says, hey, this is changing, like just FYI, you're going to see this happening. So it's pretty awesome that she can send me tips and stuff on it, but I don't pay her. I pay her like $100 a week, and it's been well worth it. And if you ever do that, just know like it starts slow. Like you might get like 60 new followers a week, but now like I'm up to getting like 2,000 new followers a week. So it takes time to like really like get in the groove with an assistant. Like it's not going to happen in a month or two. Like it takes time. So stick with it if you can. So I found her from Girl Boss Solutions. So I have 2 assistants, one that helps my business for just like not much work, but then I pay her to do my Instagram. And I just found like I don't want to have to use captive, and I don't want to have to follow people. Like it just takes so much time. And even sending invites, like that is my really weak spot. So if she can do that for me, like I'd much rather pay her to do that. And I'd rather do the dirty work, like reports and things like that if I need to, and pay someone to like actually do something that's going to bring me income. And I saw another question in the comments or in the chat. She follows people, she messages and invites people who follow me back. So obviously I'm getting more follow backs than just the 20 a day, but she kind of like, I don't know exactly what she's doing, but she definitely finds my people out of my invites. Cause when she sends 20 invites a day, I get almost all 20 people following, like wanting information back. So she definitely does a lot of the sales for me. And I think she works with a few other coaches, because she sent me other like, hey, so-and-so's using this invite, it's working, you want to change it? It's like, yes, change it for me. So that's been kind of nice too, that she works with other coaches and kind of knows what's working and knows the business. And no, she is not inviting for coaching. She is inviting to a camp. So it's a really short and simple invite that she sends out. I find inviting to coaching does not work very well for me, and I'd rather people get in a sneak peek. Frankly, I want people to like see that information before signing up with me, rather than blindly signing up and me having to teach them all of that when we get started. And so when I send that invite, like I get everyone's email right away, and then I send them the invite. So like it's the same information I send out as if someone were to go fill out my application, as if someone says like, yes, I'd like more information. I always get their email and they go in my streak pipeline. And yes, I take over the conversation once they say yes, and then it's just awesome. What's your email address? And then they go into streak.
For your girls that were your new diamonds this year, did most of them come from your sneak peeks, or from getting into one of your challenge groups first and becoming a customer and then start coaching?
Most of my good coaches come through sneak peeks, not through my challenge groups, which probably need to check on my challenge groups. But a lot of them do come from my sneak peeks. And I also find a lot of the good coaches like actually have been following me for a long time. Like one of the girls who hit diamond with me, like she was the very first person I invited 5 years ago. My first cold market person I invited 5 years ago, and she's followed me all this time and was ready and hit the ground running. So a couple of the people had been following for quite some time.
Okay, so you are also like just crushing, like especially last year, the SC category, getting your coaches to SC. So we know how you do it from the beginning, but how do you get them to keep doing it over and over and over again? What's your strategy with that?
I really preach that. I probably mean, but I tell my coaches, like, if you don't hit Success Club, you're a discount coach. And I mean, because it's true, like, if you're not hitting Success Club, like, you're really not building much of a business, and you'll piss people off by saying that and have some quit. But then you also get people who realize, like, Success Club is a no matter what. Like, it's a no matter what. It's 3 people. We all freaking know 3 people. But also leading from the front. Like, there has never been a month in all of my coaching career that I have not been at the top of our Success Club boards by a long shot. And my coaches will do half as much as that we do. And to me, it's like, lead from the front and show them, like, this is what we do. We hit Success Club. But also my business builder page, like, you have to hit Success Club to hang out in there. And trying to make that page valuable with guest speakers, things like that, and make it a place where people want to be in there. But even, like, we're going to do a diamond little mentorship type thing in February, and you have to be Emerald, you have to hit Success Club. So, like, having that be something where, like, this is when I work with you, is when you're hitting Success Club, when you're growing your business. So just kind of setting that as the expectation early on, that this is what we do. But I also, like, we preach, like, we talk a lot about Summit in my pages, and they know they get their free ticket when they hit Summit. And so a lot of girls work for that too. And I also preach a lot about that extra bonus. So a lot of my girls sign people up as coaches. And when you sign 5 coaches up in a month, you get that extra $100 bonus. And I'm going to be really honest, I didn't know about that until this last year. And now it's like, I dangle that over my coaches' heads all the time. Like, if you have 5 coaches, like, that's an extra $100. And a lot of my girls, like, want to be home with their kids and want the income. So if they know they level up, there's extra little things they can get. And heck, you do 10 and you get another person or another $100. Like, a lot of my girls, like, really like that too. And I had no idea that was a thing until this year.
God, is it bad that I didn't even know that was a thing either? Did any of you guys know that was a thing? Couple people. I'm like, I had no idea. So thank you.
I had no idea. I probably into like October, and I just noticed I was starting, like, once I started recruiting more coaches, like, I was getting these extra bonuses, and it's like, oh my gosh, 5 coaches. I think it's in a calendar month, I think, that you get an extra $100 bonus or something. But I had no idea that was a thing, and it was like, okay.
It used to be a rolling 5-week period. So,
okay, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, you can, like, keep bonusing off the same coaches, even as long as you, like, essentially sign up a coach every week, you keep getting bonuses.
I did not know that either. Cool. So I've told my coaches it was a month, and I probably won't go back and tell them that, because it's like, I want them, like, doing that. I mean, you have to think 5. So we preach, Success Club every single month. I told them, like, you hit Success Club 10, like, you're getting an extra $100 just doing that.
So I don't think I missed this, but I know you said, like, you stopped running the sneak peeks for your whole team and just doing them yourself. So then your coaches that are recruiting coaches and hitting diamond, are they running their own sneak peeks then? Or what are you having them do to actually, like, recruit business builders and not just discount coaches to get to diamond?
So I actually am telling my girls not to do sneak peeks till they're diamond, because I had a lot of girls who their mom and their boyfriend signed up running peaks, and it's like, girl, you need some challengers. Like, don't worry about sneak peeks yet. Like, you need to get people, like, actually joining your boot camps and get them started. So I actually don't have them doing their own. And once they hit diamond, I found they naturally started doing that. But we preach, again, I didn't know this was a thing either, but, like, just changing the wording of things and calling commission signing people up as a referral bonus. So now, like, when my girls were signing people up, they were telling their, like, girls, like, do you have, like, a couple friends who want to join the boot camp with us? Like, for them to join us, it's open to anyone who buys a challenge pack, and you actually get a $100 or a $50 referral bonus from Beachbody when you do that. And you'd be surprised. People, like, I always use the example of Stitch Fix. Like, I buy Stitch Fix boxes all the time, and I tell everyone about it because I get $25 every time a friend of mine buys it. So I never have to pay for any of my clothes from Stitch Fix. And it's the same with Beachbody. Like, you can get your stuff paid for if you just tell a few people about it. And I found when you talk about being in like referrals, then people are more willing to do that. And especially like letting them know like upfront, like if you have a couple coworkers, a sister who wants to join us, you'd be surprised that a lot of people will hit Emerald just by telling a couple friends and getting people to join them that way. So we had that, but I also had some girls who signed up like their husband and their mom, and those were their 2 Emeralds at first to get them going. But I have one of my diamonds last night message me, and she's got 3 girls who hit Emerald this week. And a lot of them were these girls who were in her boot camp. And she said one of the girls is down 35 pounds and now wants to coach. And like, when I think of like how I hit 5-star, it was all of my challengers who got killer results, who then decided to work the business. And so I kind of found by the time that they are hitting diamond, like their early challengers are getting results and starting to share this with their friends too. So now they're diamond, now they're working on getting business builders and talking about it. But you have to think like as an Emerald coach, like you don't have a lot of credibility to now go out here and tell people like you're going to help them with this big business when like you just started and you don't know what you're doing either. So I kind of thought taking that off the plate for them and having them just focus on boot camps has been really, really good, because a lot of them are really scared to like recruit business builders, and then they just didn't do much at all. So I'd rather them get discount coaches in and then get confidence that way, and then start, getting business builders after that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the exact same way I built. So I feel like that's, kind of what I tell my team too. So then for your boot camps, do you run them team wide, or do you have your new coaches run their own right away? And do you do like Facebook group or tracker app?
So I do Facebook. I just found Tracker, like my girls didn't bond. I want my girls bonded together. And now that we went back to Facebook, like I have a couple challengers who like met up for vacation together. Like they're very bonded to each other. So I definitely use Facebook. My new coaches, like I tell them right off the bat, like you get like the first month or 2 with me. And then after that, like I also make the assumption, I said within a month or 2, like you're going to be close to 1 star. Because you have to think if they're hitting Emerald every single week, 2 months into the business, like they should have 16 people on their team. Like they should be at least diamond by then, and they'll have a team to run their own. So I put it in their head, like you have the first month or 2 with me. By then you're going to be diamond and you're going to be able to have your own team to run this group with. So kind of setting that expectation, planting that seed that this is what they're going to be in the next couple of months. But I also find like after the first month, like they actually do have enough people that they want to go off and do their own group. And my boot camps are not ongoing. I do start a new group every single month, just because I have to think like I would not, like, as a challenger, I wouldn't want to join halfway through a group or like feeling like I'm joining people who are already started. Like I would want to feel like I was starting with everyone else. And it's a good way. I work for Shakeology or the performance line, and I make them post their last order number, like their screenshot. So like it holds them accountable to actually ordering too.
I'm just curious. So a bunch of your new diamonds, how long would you say, like it took them a month and a half, 2 months?
To hit diamond?
Mm-hmm.
One of the girls was 3 weeks, the next one 4 weeks, the next one was 5 weeks of the girls who helped us hit Superstar.
Oh, that's awesome. I love bringing that back to my team. Like, hello.
Yeah. And it was honestly a game changer for us, because I had never had someone even hit diamond with before like 6 months or even like a year or 2 years. So to do it within that amount of time, like first off, it gave me confidence, like, okay, I got it. I can teach my girls how to do this. But it also showed my girls like it's possible, like step up.
Do you do chat threads for like your new coaches and emeralds and stuff, or just that Superstar one?
So I used to do that, and I found that it made me feel like I was coaching everyone and training everyone, but then you realize like if you have a chat thread of 10, you're talking to 2 people, and then you really are leaving 8 people behind. So I do not do chat threads anymore with my new coaches, just mainly so I can make sure like I'm not losing anyone and that I'm not blanketing it for everyone. And I also find my coaches are more likely to chat, like my newer coaches more likely to chat one-on-one with me than put a question in a chat with 10 other girls. But I do have a chat thread for that Superstar, and we still have that going.
This is great. Any last questions, guys?
Oh, I did have one more. So I know for the Superstar, you said like you have the expectation that they want to be in there, they want to be helping to Superstar towards that goal and working towards it. And then I know for the Diamond Call, you said they had to be Emerald, right? So to stay in the Superstar like chat thing, do they have to hit Success Club to stay in there? Maybe you already said that.
So my Superstar chat, it was anyone committed to hitting Diamond with us. So I had I think 19 girls in there. Obviously there were a few who didn't hit it, but I left everyone in there unless I had one girl halfway through say this isn't a priority anymore. I took her out. So if I knew someone wasn't actually pushing and told me they were done pushing, then I did exit them out. But otherwise everyone stayed in that chat.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Anything else, guys? Good. Okay. Well, thank you, Jess, so much. I took a page of notes. That was incredible. We really appreciate you. Thank you, everyone else, for being here. I'll see you guys next week. Let me know if you need anything. I did post the morning meltdown, the SC average, in our message thread, so go take a look at that. Thank you, guys, and have a great week. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you.